Found out my boyfriend of a year has had a long-term girlfriend the whole time. I feel like I'm still in shock. I've known for about 8 hours now. How I found out: my boyfriend, 24M, broke up with me, 24F, a day and a half ago, because he kept pressuring me into using butt plugs, doing anal by threatening to leave me if I wouldn't, and telling me all his previous, LOL, girlfriends had liked it. This has led to tension over the last 2 months, as even after I tried both repeatedly, then told him it hurts, is uncomfortable, and I don't want to do either anymore, he'd keep bringing them up with jokes and little comments, telling me I needed to try harder to like them. And then 2 weeks ago, when we were discussing his mental health, and how he's starting therapy he said very seriously that another thing he's been thinking about lately is if he can really be with me long term if I don't do these kinks he wants. Mind you, this man has never given me even one orgasm. Me, being the low self-esteem idiot I am, then immediately agreed to doing them for fear of losing him. I've always been anxious he's cheating or going to leave me, and it feels now like he played on that to get me to do what he wanted. He did the same on my birthday in June. We'd had an argument, he invited me over, I came there anxious for him to be happy with me again, and he used the opportunity, on my birthday, to do anal choking, knowing I hate both. Anyway, we used a butt plug again 2 nights ago. I pretended to like it so he wouldn't start threatening to leave again, and he was happy. I went to the bathroom while he slept and just disassociated for half an hour, because it messed me up a bit mentally to have done something in bed 100% because of pressure from someone else, especially as a CSA survivor. Side note, I once saw his Reddit history by mistake and it was full of porn subs. I've tried to talk to him about if he may have a porn addiction multiple times, and if that's why he's so insistent on certain acts, especially given he's not insistent at all on me having pleasure, which feels like a quite porny mindset, but he would always gets defensive and make me out to be the weird prudish one, even though I know I have a high libido. The next day, I decided to be honest and say I didn't like it, and it felt like he pressured and manipulated me into it, using my insecurities, so he dumped me lol. His rationale was, if you're saying I was just threatening to dump you for not liking them, then fine, I'll dump you for real. He made this condescending comment about how I can go find someone who's not into kinky stuff, like me. But who said I'm not? LOL. Why am I automatically vanilla for not being ecstatic about anal and butt plugs, let alone with a guy who's never pleasured me in bed? Shouldn't that be the starting point, and then go from there? Anyway. My now ex has had me blocked on Instagram for the entirety of our relationship, which I've questioned quite a few times, but he's always managed to turn into it being just a joke, or said I'm insecure paranoid, or, most often, he'll say he doesn't use IG at all, so why do I care? I'm starting issues for no reason, etc. I had a feeling he was lying, as I've looked at his account from my sister's profile multiple times over the last year and noticed how he's regularly changed his bio, followed new acts, etc. I looked at his AC from her profile again today and noticed a girl on the suggested followers. I clicked on her page and saw he had liked her recent pic from a week ago, as well as her other recents. I screenshotted a bikini pic of hers he liked a week ago, sent it to him, and said, crazy how you can like random girls' bikini pics on the same day you were telling me you never use IG. He responded immediately, which is unlike him, pretending he didn't really know her. He then immediately deleted the message. Obviously I know now this girl is his GF, and the only thing that's given me a smile in all this is picturing how much he must have been shitting his pants when he got that message from me with a pic of her attached, though I thought she was just some random. I decided to message the girl and ask if she knew anything. I was expecting to get a response from her like, yeah, he sent me a few flirty DMs or something, but the girl responded, I've been his girlfriend for 3.5 years. I was shocked. I literally thought she was joking at first. I then looked at her account more deeply and saw how he was all over the comments over the last few years, calling her his girlfriend, leaving sappy comments and hearts, and being very open that they were together. He was at her graduation. Even his guy friends would respond to his comments on her page jokingly saying whipped, they all follow her. The one and only friend of his he ever introduced me to, a female ex-roommate of his, is mutuals with this girl. His mom follows this girl. Everyone knew. I literally felt my heart break inside my chest. I've never felt as insignificant as I did in that moment. I messaged him saying that I now knew he had a girlfriend. Sent him screenshots from her page of pictures taken inside his house, pictures of him on her page, pictures from his recent holiday that he swore he took solo, that I see he actually took with her. The girl is Portuguese. He's gone to Portugal at least 10 times over the past year, always on solo trips. I even joked about his having a secret Portuguese wife. But he would always message me each day he was away, so I believed he was alone, because he tells me all the time what an independent/reserved/solitary person he is, but I realize now he must have been going with her all along. He read the messages I sent and immediately blocked me. The man that was telling me I'm the love of his life 48 hours prior just blocked me, rather than acknowledging this at all and apologizing. She messaged me asking for proof and was really rude about it. I think she thought I knew, even though I clearly stated I'd been lied to. And when I sent her pics of me and him, she blocked me. It's 4 a.m. and I haven't slept. I was so sure we would get married. We talked about it constantly. Our future. How much we love each other. We've both held each other in our arms while we cried. He's seen me grieving the loss of my sister a few months ago. He told me I was his best friend, his favorite person, and that I pushed him away when I unfairly doubted him and questioned why he kept me hidden, etc. And I would apologize. I would have done anything for him, I was so in love. I've been paranoid for a long time because he's never introduced me to anyone, and it seems like nobody in his life knows I exist. I've brought this up so many times and he always says his mom knows I exist, his friends know, but he's never shown any proof, or introduced me to anyone. This has led to us breaking up / getting back together at least 4 times over the past year, which he would then use as his reasoning for not introducing me to anyone, because we're too unstable. He has a wall of pictures stuck up in his room of friends and family, but no pictures of us, though I printed some and gave them to him. He's always been extremely secretive about his phone, grabbing it away if I so much as touch it. Whenever I come over, he checks multiple times to see if any of his roommates, or his brother who he lives with, is in the hallway, to make sure nobody sees me coming / leaving. Getting in and out of his room has always felt like a secret mission, probably BC they know his girlfriend. He lies about the amount of porn he watches. He even lied recently about a birthday party he had last month. I found out when he, very reluctantly, introduced me to his ex-housemate, and she mentioned his party in passing. He didn't tell me about it, and he didn't invite me, and then when I found out, said he lied about it because it was too many people to introduce me to at once. Each time I've questioned these things, he's looked me in my face and told me he thinks I'm bipolar, or traumatized by a previous ex who cheated, or implied I'm essentially crazy and insecure, and overstepping, when he knew he actually was cheating all along, from the second he asked me to be his GF. How can anyone keep this up for so long? Isn't keeping up with 2 relationships exhausting? Or I guess she was the relationship, I was the side girl to stroke his ego with how in love I was with him while he gave me the bare minimum, and get out his kinks with while he took her home to meet the family. This is the second time I've been cheated on in the last few years, both times it's been well over a year of cheating, both times I found out through IG. I'm just tired and heartbroken, and internalizing it again. I'm not even worthy of an apology in his eyes. She blocked me, he blocked me, and I feel like I was just a pawn in someone else's relationship. I tried so hard, I adored him. If he said jump I would say how high. It never mattered that I so obviously liked him more than he did me, because I felt like he was genuinely my best friend, and he told me every single day that he loved me. I feel broken right now. Why did he do this? Next news story. AA for deciding not to marry or have kids now with my girlfriend after 6 years after meeting her rural Turkish family. We'll try to be somewhat vague because I'm paranoid. So, I've, 29 white American European mix living in Northern Europe, been in a relationship with a wonderful, intelligent, beautiful woman that I love. She is Turkish, but we met in another more developed Western European country while traveling for work. We both work in the same industry, creative, and the quality and depth of her work was also something that made me attracted to her. She has always seemed like a perfect partner for me and I long thought that we would probably get married and have kids because she has such a nurturing affect, and we get along like best friends even after rough periods, arguments, etc. I never really knew anything about Turkey other than it being a Muslim country, and by traveling there many times to see her or to meet her parents, it was slowly revealed to me that Turkey is a double-sided country where some people are quite liberal, Western adjacent and open-minded, especially in cities like Istanbul and Izmir, but then everywhere else things can quickly become very closed and people are even afraid to marry outside of their own village. Unfortunately, she was always embarrassed about her background because she is herself very open-minded, artistic and doesn't care about cultural boundaries. We lived together in Europe for a long time without her family knowing, because that's not allowed before marriage in their culture. We both worked for huge multinational companies on creative projects that are seen by millions, and have a very global perspective. Her English is also very fluent. She often says her English is better than her Turkish at this point. She is kind of the black sheep of the family. She refuses to wear hijab anywhere, wears shorts, controversial there, has tattoos, and other things seen as rebellious. Her family does not understand how she makes money, nor do they care. By the way, she has given tens of thousands of euros to them because they have been struggling financially. Well, when I met her direct family, siblings, parents, they were very friendly and accepted me with open arms. However, because the father is originally from an eastern village in Turkey, the extended family, which contains the eldest uncle of the family, the patriarch basically, has proven to be a big problem. And so her father needs to answer to that older uncle when it comes to the marriage of her daughter. All of this seems incredibly backwards to me as an outsider, but I have always been trying to suspend my judgment and go along with things to see where it goes. So we eventually came to the said village in the east. I met the extended family, about 30, 40 people in total, for a random wedding of a cousin, and I was frankly shocked by the level of poverty, the level of conservative ideology, illiteracy and lack of education. It felt like visiting a really third world country village, not like Istanbul, which can pass as first world sometimes. Then, the uncle recognized that me and my GF wanted to probably get married. We didn't say this explicitly, and there is a more complicated engagement ritual for that. And he said that we could, but I would have to convert to Islam and also invest in Turkish real estate. This boundary and the fact that her family seem to live in a completely different world and are very limited in their understanding of other cultures or other ways of life, made me start to think deeply about things. I felt suffocated the whole time with these people. Suddenly after this experience I felt like everything was over. My GF tried to reassure me and say that we could still get married without them knowing, or they wouldn't care after a couple years, etc. But I started to think about the hypothetical kids we would have and the pressure they would be under if we involved her family in any way. I wouldn't want to interact with these people in any way. The cultural divide just seems way too huge. And I feel really stupid because it took me a long time to realize that, but she really withheld this from me because she also hates her family and is going completely against their traditions with her actions. I still love her. And I wish we could make it work, but I eventually said that it's just too complicated. Now she probably would have to deal with blowback from her family anyways, and her life has been derailed quite a bit, so has mine. What do you guys think of this mess?